Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi tata. A sịkwa m ka echiri ya zelu. Dịka o si dasị n'ụbọchị nke taa ya gbara na anyị mma na ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ, otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị. Ise ise ise. Dịka o si dị, tata bụ 16th of January 2024, ụmụnne m na-ewe n'iwe, ọ 2024 ka anyị nọ. O nwere ife anyị wetara unu anyị na-akpọ evening tea ka anyị na-akpọ ya. Ife a gbasara maka ife na-eme n'ala Igbo and ihe maazị bodo kọmanda na omesi bụ maazị Simon Ekpa ife owere ikwu gbasara maka so many things na-emenụ. So anyị achọkwa unu ka ya bụ ife mbụ unu ga-esia ya ọfụma ọfụma, unu atinyela ya ala unu ife unu chere n'ụdị nke unu gbasara maka ife a niile Prime Minister Simon Ekpa kwuru n'elu akwụkwọ. All right, over to you, sir.
Might have asked their questions or given their thoughts. Thank you very much. I'm welcome.
Thank you so much, Mazi Success. You're welcome. And fellow Biafrans, we are here to witness the collapse of the zoo, the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. And please, we want you to come up with your questions. And as you request, we'll bring you in. We would expect some of these people that are still, having doubts as to how these things will happen. We expect you to be the ones to be asking us questions. Please, I would beg of you, we know you want to come and greet our Prime Minister, to encourage him and salute him. This space is actually meant for people to ask questions for clarity. That is why we're here. So please minimize the greetings and ask questions, please. If you know you don't have questions, need less of raising your hands. Allow those that have questions to raise their hands, and I give you 60 seconds. You ask your questions, and the Prime Minister will respond. Please, you know the kind of questions you ask. We don't tell you questions you ask, but some security details you don't expect the Prime Minister to begin to unveil here. So just ask questions that concern Biafra, concern the restoration, concern the zoo. How do we make it? How is it going to happen? How will the zoo fall? How are we sure? Ask those questions and you will get answers instantly. So we expect you to be raising your hands ASAP. As I will start with if I unmute yourself and bring up your question. Thank you, Ifai Nwar.
Good evening from my side. My PM, good evening from here. I salute you. My question is, I have two questions. I wanted to ask one yesterday, the two questions yesterday, but unfortunately, time did not permit me. So I'll ask two questions now. First question is, since we know we have, in terms of a traditional and culture in Biafra land, we have monarchies in Biafra land. And as it is now, the terrorist government of Nigeria had made it that we don't know the real traditional list, even though there are remnants of them that are still real traditional lists that we have. All these people that are operating with the license that is being issued to them by the politicians, if Biafra is being restored today, tomorrow, what is the Biafrans going to do about those people? Are they still going to continue as a traditional rulers in different villages as they are there working for the interest of the Fulanis? Or is anything going to be done about it? That is my first question. Then my second question is, on the building of Biafra, those that already have their buildings, that have their estates, because there are individual estates here and there in Biafra land. When Biafra come, I know that most of those estates might be on the place where Biafra have mapped out for highways and all that, and the skyscrapers. What is going to be the fate of those that already have property there? Is there going to be a compensation? Or how is the government of Biafra going to treat them? Thank you, my PM. These are my questions.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. I'm going to take it from the last one about those buildings and those who have estate and whatever. We are having Biafra government building plans, and that plans is what we are going to follow. So you must meet the standard approved by law of Biafra for any building to stand anywhere. If your building is affected, there is also either a law of compensation or whatever the law of Biafra says is what we're going to follow. But of course, it is going to be reasonable enough for those whom their building have been affected to be compensated by the government. So I believe the law will take its course on that. But nobody, no Nigeria structure is going to disrupt the plan we have for Biafra. Biafra plan remain supreme. So if you have any building anywhere and it blocks or disturb the structure we are having on ground, and we want Biafra to be better than Dubai, we are going to bulldozer it overnight. And then whatever the law says will apply to your property. Number two is you talked about the traditional rulers. You call it traditional rulers, not political rulers, not certificate rulers, not political giving certificate rulers. You said traditional rulers. We are going back to our roots. Immediately Biafra is restored, traditional rulers will become traditional rulers. It will be the choice of the gods of the land according to how it is done in the past. We are going to restore the tradition. We're going to restore the power and the energy that made us what we are, that made the enemy to fear us. We're going to restore those powers. At the same time, we will respect other religions that are in Biafra land. And I will tell you now today that in those days, we know what our tradition means. We know when a king or a traditional ruler dies, the tradition of that particular kingdom or kindred will choose who become the next traditional ruler, and not by political appointment. Today, that particular custom, the power that we control in our land has been adulterated by the Fulani oligarchy, by the caliphate and their corruption, and those particular energy is no longer effective in our land. So we are restoring back our traditional rulers' might, right, power, and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If I hope you are okay. Success, you want to say something?
Yes,
Please go ahead,
yes.
Success.
I'm okay.
No, go ahead, Master Raf. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, fine. All right, please, if there is no need for, if your question is answered, you just allow the position for someone else, so that there are a lot of people that are waiting to ask questions. Mazi Gaddafi of Biafra, please go ahead and ask your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. The Prime Minister of the great nation in Africa. I salute you, sir. I all comrades in the building. I salute you all. Sir, my Prime Minister, you know, as Biafra is going to be the great nation in Africa, and as the Israel of Africa, sir, and you know we are surrounded by enemies, that means we'll be expecting like rockets from our borders. Sir, will there be, in this prototype, will there be a provision for bomb shelters so that if there is any emergency, our people will have these shelters? In this prototype, sir, will there be like bomb shelters, sir? Thank you. That's just the question I have.
Thank you very much. We are going to have bomb shelters, but we are not going to make it public. Bomb shelters remain a security measure for the Biafra people, for internal security of Biafra people, and it is within us. So we are going to know, only us will know where we have bomb shelters. and where we do not have bomb shelters. And that is going to come later on. The enemy is not going to know where we have bomb shelter, where the bomb shelter is located. If they have spies in our land, they may try to know, but we're not going to give that publicly to them. So, yes, we are going to have bomb shelters. In fact, we're going to take the security of Biafra people as the most prioritized items and most prioritized issues in the Biafra government. So we are going to build very powerful bomb shelters all over Biafra land, because we know we are the second Israel in Africa. So it's going to be the same thing. But one thing I can assure you today is that the emergence of Biafra will solve terrorism in Sahel and beyond, and Africa, and by extension in Europe. Because the only place where the terrorists have a stronghold now is in Sahel and in Nigeria. And the disintegration of Nigeria is going to put an end to it. That is what we are doing today. So bomb shelters will be built across Biafra land. Not only bomb shelter, we are also going to have the alarm system. Alarm system is going to be built all over Biafra territory. At any given threat, from external threat or any aggression, the alarm system will go off. And our people will be educated and be taught how this alarm system works. Immediately you hear such alarm, you know there is a danger, and you know where to go, when to go, and how to do about it. So it is something we are taking very seriously. Thank you.
Mazi Gaddafi, that was a good response to that, and I'm sure you are satisfied. All right, Mazi Udoka Nacho, please quickly bring your question without hesitation.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow Biafrans. My PM, I greet you, my ambassador. Okpokolo Oshimoj ka m na-akpọ gị. Dị mkpaji agha afụye ọkụ. Ndị iro mewuo ọkụ, iwere agha fụyọọ ya. Ha mewukwe n'olu gị ọkụ. Imewukwe elu ha ọkụ, olepịasịa ha, mana ha mewuo olu gị ọkụ, ijiri agha gị fụyọọ ya. So ya na-akpọ gị dị mkpaji agha afụye ọkụ. My question goes like this. What is our Biafran Republic government in exile doing in case of Nigeria decided to cut off network in Biafra land due to the heat they are receiving and the things that is happening now, both the way we are trying to pull us from Nigeria? If they decided to cut off the network in Biafra land, what is the measure our Biafra Republic government in exile is putting in place to make sure that we are not live in dark? Because network and communication is the most important thing in human life. Thank you. And that is my question.
Thank you very much. We are working on having that particular solution, and it is on the table. But let me tell you, if they cut off communication, we will cut off every oil pipeline. We are going to cut off energy. We supply energy to Lagos from the southeast, supply oil to them from the southeast and the south-south. So if anything like that happen, we are not only going to cut the oil, we are going to also cut the energy. And we'll keep Lagos in darkness for as long as we want. We supply energy to Lagos. You know, a lot of people don't know this particular fact, but it's a fact. The electricity you enjoy in Lagos today is coming from the east. We supply electricity to them. So if anything like that happens, we know how to deal with them. So, and as we are dealing with them, we are restoring our network back, and Biafra will start using their own network, but they cannot have access to their own oil. They don't have any oil. They will also not have access to the energy. It will take them decades to build energy, to supply energy to Lagos. Today, we supply them energy to Lagos. And we're going to cut it off too. Thank you.
Thank you, my Prime Minister. Thank you. Mazi Success, please, anytime you want to come up, please don't hesitate. I have only one hand raised, and that is David. Please endeavor to raise your hands, because after David, I will dislodge those that are not raising their hands to bring in those that are in the room. David, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
David is having a network challenge.
Okay, please.
We
David
can
is having
pick.
a network problem.
Hmm.
Okay, let's pick Udo before Mazi Kevin. Udochi, please, you can bring your question up. Udochi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, PM. May God protect you always in Jesus' name.
Right.
Please, my question here is about religion. I know Biafra is a Christian religious country, but here, we have different denominations, and also I am Kwanandi Omenala. So I want you to sensitize us more on that, please. Thank you.
On what? On what?
Religion. We are Christians, and then we Omenala here in Biafra land. So, and also we have the different denominations too. So people are somehow they kind of have a kind of debate and confusion about that we hear. So I need you to sensitize us more on that.
You need to ask a specific question. I cannot just come here and start sensitizing you on religion. It's a very broad issue. But we have three main religions. We have the Jewish religion, we have the Christian, and then we have the traditional religion. So these are the three major religions we have in Biafra nation. So what is your question?
It doesn't have a specific to that question. Udochi, when you are clarified with your question, you can come up and ask, and the Prime Minister will give you an accurate, specified answer to your specific question. Mazi Kevin Ndubisi, please unmute yourself and come up with your question, please.
Thank you very much.
Mazi Kevin.
Okay. I greet you, my Prime Minister. I welcome every one of us here. Let me go straight to my question. My number one question is in regards to our currency. In 1967 to 70s, when we fought war, we used the Biafra pounds, and it ended in 1970. And from recent developments, I have seen that the current development now is that Biafra Republic government in Ezra have abolished the pounds and introduced the Biafra dollar. So my question now is, immediately when Biafra is declared, are we going to start using the Biafra dollar, or are we going to use the Biafra pound? Because many of us here have the Biafra pounds as we studied after the war. So are we going to use the Biafra pounds immediately after Biafra is declared, or are we going to immediately start using the Biafra dollar that have been introduced by Biafra Republic government in Ezra?
I don't know whether this is, you really actually mean to ask such question. Why can we use something we did not introduce? We have introduced a new denomination, which is the dollar. The dollar is what we're using. The reason why we are not going to use the pounds is that we are cutting off anything British. I want everybody to understand that what we are doing now, America did it. America did exact thing. When America liberated themselves from British, they start changing everything British to their own. So we don't have our own as such, but because dollar is globally accepted currency, we can start with dollar. By the time the Biafra government hit the ground running, we may even decide to change whatever we want to change it to. So it is going to be a collective decision of the Biafra people to vote on which currency they are going to use. But for the beginning, we are taking the dollar, the Biafra dollar, and that's the way it is. But after that, it may change to something else. But I believe it is not going to be pounds. We don't want to have anything to do with the British, considering what they have done to us or against us for many years. So we want to do just like America did, or even more than what America did to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I understand every of your answers. So my next question is in regards to language, because I've indulged in discussion where we discuss about NCBD, our language. So are we going to really use NCBD as our official language when Biafra is restored? Maybe next 5 years we start learning it.
We are not talking about the official language now. We are going to start using in CBD. But the issue of official language now is something that is going to be a decision of the entire Biafra nation and the Confederation State of Biafra. So it is not something that Simon Ekpa will sit here and tell you this is the official language of Biafra and this is not the official language of Biafra. What we are going to tell you is that we are going to we'll let the people understand the importance of having our language and the reason why we must invest in our language and make sure that our language become the official language and not any borrowed language. Thank you.
Okay. My last question is not the final question. But
No,
what the last
you are
question?
taking much
My last
time. You are
question is,
taking much time because of others.
please,
Huh?
this may be discreet question that should be asked indoors or privately. But if you don't have an answer to it, you can admit. My last question is in regards to the rays on the sun. In 1967 to 70, we use the rays. If you count it, you see that is 11 rays.
You
The
see,
sun,
all
but
this question you are asking now has nothing to add to the liberation of Biafra. I want you to ask question about the liberation of Biafra, not question about inscription or what we are using in the logo or what is in the sun, what is not in the sun.
yes.
That has nothing to contribute and has nothing to do to the restoration of Biafra or the liberation of Biafra. Ask question what is going to add value when Biafra come, what we are going to do to change things and make things work for the Biafra people. These are the questions I'm expecting from you. Not who draw the lion or who draw the sun or how many stars in the sun and all that. These are nonsense questions.
Okay. Let me read it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Ndubisi. And please, I'm sure those of us that are coming up with our questions, you must have heard our Prime Minister now. Please be very, very, sure of your questions. Don't ask questions that will not benefit Biafrans or asking questions to your own selfish ambition. Thank you very much.
And I want to,
All right,
I want to use this opportunity to recognize the presence of Naomi Litvin. Naomi Litvin is our own person, lover of freedom of Biafra, friend of Biafra from Israel, and I want to recognize her presence on this space. Thank you.
Thank you, my Prime Minister. Please, Naomi, if you want to speak up, please, you will freely collect the microphone and talk to Biafrans, please. Thank you very much. Okay, and the next person to take the microphone is Ekperi Biafra Warrior. Ekperi Biafra Warrior, please take the microphone.
Please, anybody taking microphone should not use a time of more than 60 seconds. A minute, please, is enough, so that we can have as much speaker as we wish tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazi Success. Thank you. That's a very good one. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon from wherever you are listening from. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. My question is about the currency because I know that Biafra is already here. We are not going to Biafra, we are already there. So I just want to ask about how are we going to go about it so that people that have somebody like me, I have stopped sending money home. My account is dumb out there. I don't want to put anything. But there are some people that still have that Zouk Nigeria currency. Sorry.
Ndị be anyị daalụ niile nụ were na okwu nwa nke mmadụ mere ife ọ na-anụgo n'ife ada anyị kwuru n'elu akwụkwọ ka ọ bụrụ na ife mmụta ụnụ na ife anyị na-ekwu ọ bụrụ nnukwu ife mmụta wee nyere ụnụ ajikwere a na-asị ụnụ chetakwa na ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si wee na-ewetara ụnụ nnukwu ozi ya dị oke mkpa n'ala Igbo dịka o si dị anyị ejelapụ n'oge ugbu a anyị ejelapụ ụnụ ma chetakwa ihe ọzọ chetakwa na ya kọmentị on the comment below. Thank you for joining us today at Eastern News 24 ka emesịa nọ ndị be anyị ụmụ Igbo daalụ.